Hi everyone, welcome to a new video. It has been 2 weeks since I uploaded, so apologies for this, but I was on a holiday, so I'll be sure to catch up next week with 2 extra videos. Now in this video we'll do a little update on my yield farming adventures. As you can see, I still have that 15k locked up, but I'm right now borrowing 10k rather than 7k, and this is because I found some really interesting yield farms, which we'll talk about in this video. Right now I'm actually making about $200, so if you want to find out how I'm doing that, be sure to hit that like button and don't forget to subscribe at the end of the video. As I mentioned earlier, the situation is more or less the same. I just started borrowing more, so it's about $3,000 more that I borrowed. The only big change that you can see here on Aave is that the interest that I'm paying has shot up significantly. So before it was about 2-3%, right now we're paying 16%, which is a lot. On the other hand, we're still getting 3.5% in the Matic rewards by borrowing this money, and of course we still get about 3.5% on the USDC that I've locked up in Aave. So more or less we are paying 10% annually on the 10,000 that we borrowed. So roughly this is about $3 a day that I'm paying. This also means that my main goal should be to make at least $3, but as I said, we're making about $200 a day right now, so we just have to keep that up, and then it doesn't really matter that we're paying 16%. Another thing that you have to keep in mind is of course the health factor, but because we are borrowing USDC against USDT, there is only a small chance that there is a situation where the difference is more than 20%, which would put my entire holding at risk. Of course, as soon as possible, I will de-risk myself by dropping the borrowed amount from 10k back to 7k. When it comes to farms, my main farm was the Qi Dao farm and the Polycat Finance farm, but as most of you know, the price dropped last week from a little over $10, below $10, and I think it dropped all the way to the $3 range, which of course was a bit scary. So for myself, I pulled out my funds when it dropped below $10. But right now, as you can see, the price is moving up again nicely, which is, I think, exceptional for a farming project. So when we look at the price chart of FISH, which is the native token of the Polycat Finance project, we see that they started about $15, then dropped to $8.5, and then went up nicely, and then we stabilized for a while. So I was really happy as long as it was around $15, but then we saw it drop to $10, and then I decided to pull out some of my funds just to be sure. I stopped compounding the FISH token, and then I left a little in, and then I moved the Matic tokens, the Matic USDC pair, to another farm last week. Now the most interesting part about this token is that it didn't move all the way down to zero. It actually went up back from $3.6 now all the way up to $6.6, and we'll take a look at why this might have happened. So going back to the Polycat Finance website, we see the news right here. And I think the most important piece of news for me personally was this one a few days ago. So they decided to use the 0.02% that was going to the treasury to buy back and burn FISH instead. So this of course gives a lot of confidence to a farm, because usually when the token dies out, the initial dev team, they just move on to a new project. But nope, Polycat Finance is definitely reinvesting in their own project, and this of course gives some confidence. On top of that, we see that they have a very interesting launch. So we have the launch of PAW, which is the new Polycat Finance AMM token, and it looks like it is getting a lot of attention as well, and it's pushing up the price today. When we then take a look at the farms, we also see that the APY went back up from below 2000% all the way up to 3400%, so this is definitely looking very interesting again. So I will be moving some funds back to the fish tanks right here, and then start farming again on Polycat Finance. So good job for the Polycat Finance team. And then we have that IFO that we're talking about. Since they're doing such a good job, I'm definitely interested in the Polycat Finance AMM token. So I am going to borrow $500 against my USDC on Aave, and then buy $500 worth of FISH token and commit them to this nice project. So how do we do this? Well, very simple. We go back to Aave, click borrow, and then say $500. Again, my risk factor will go up, so I'm definitely going to make sure that next week I'll take some profits and I'll get my risk factor down. Continue. We'll have to agree to this dirty 16% APY, sadly. Next, we move to QuickSwap, and I'll change this 500 USDT for some FISH tokens. Alright, then we go back to the FISH page and we go to the IFO page. Just as a reminder, this is of course not financial advice. This of course has nothing to do with farming itself. I just like buying new tokens and new projects, and for me personally, I like what Polycat Finance is doing right now. I like how they're handling the situation, the dip in their token. So this is why I decided personally to contribute some money to their new project. Now when it comes to farming, I'm going to pull out my DeFi tokens that I have right here. And I'm going to change them into FISH tokens. On top of that, and sorry guys from Gemstone Finance, but right now the return is a bit too low when I look at the opportunity that I have with Polycat Finance. So I'm going to pull my Matic USDC from here as well, and I'm going to put them back in a FISH USDC pool over at Polycat Finance. Good, then it's time to jump to my favorite farm, which is the Qi Dao farm. Sadly, the Qi token has taken a little bit of a hit, but the developer has said he has got some good news coming up, and with some luck, I might be doing a little interview with him in the upcoming days. So I'll be definitely keeping you guys up to date. So in that sense, I'm a little biased. Normally I would be a bit scared if the price would have gone down so much and probably pulled out my tokens. Right now I'm going to hold on a little longer. Of course, if this would dump significantly more, then I will pull out my tokens and secure my funds. But right now I'm definitely interested to hear what Qi Dao has in store for us. So be sure to keep an eye on the channel. I'll be posting a video about this very soon. The next farm I took a look at is Doji Farm. One of the viewers, one of you guys introduced this to me in a comment. So I took a look at this farm and it was looking good, and right now of course the rewards are not looking that great, but that's because they started with a layer 2 called Kunai, and when we take a look at that one, you will see that things get really interesting. So this is the layer 2 farming solution of the dojo, which is called Kunai, and right now I am farming in this one, Matic USDT. We're getting a nice 440%. Do keep in mind there's a 4% deposit fee. This means you'll have to keep your coins in for at least 4 days to make a return on investment. If you don't have enough faith in this project to leave it in there for a week, then please don't do it. On top of that, I added some ETH USDC liquidity tokens that I had on QuickSwap, and I put them in here. So right now I have these two farms open, and as long as they stay above 300%, I will keep these tokens in here for a nice return. Of course, I'll also be compounding them on a daily basis. So when it comes to Kunai, I will be getting about $20 up to $30 a day. Right now I already did a harvest earlier, so that's why it's only $12. So if we add up the Polycat Finance farm, which should get me about $10 a day, then we have the Kunai farm, which gets me about $20 a day, and then the Qi Dao also gets me about $10 a day. So that brings me up to a total of about $40 a day. Right, the last farm that I'm going into, and this is the one that I'm most excited about. I found out about this farm thanks to Taiki Maeda, so be sure to check out his channel and his video on this topic, because it's this video that convinced me to look into this project. Now, the reason why I was willing to take the risk and actually buy the farm token of a very new project is because this project is backed by some investment. So usually when a farm project is being launched, it's just a copy of a previous project, and then they just make up the tokens out of thin air. This one, however, it has some backing, it has some financial backing, so the situation is a little bit different, and that is why I'm willing to take the risk on this Dino token. Otherwise, I wouldn't buy the farm token. Of course, buying farm tokens is very, very, very risky, so be very careful. It doesn't mean because there is a VC involved that the token can't dump to zero or that you can't have a rug pull. Keep those things in mind. And if you want to find out more about the project, be sure to check out the video by Taiki Maeda, and also check out the information on rugdoc.io. I'll put the link in the descriptions of this video. So right now I am farming Dino USDC. I put in $5,000 and I already made $300 on this. So at the current rate of 978 APR, I am making about $140 per day. Of course, this will go down. I started at about 1,100% APR, and it's already gone down to 978. So this return will, of course, keep going down. Now, when it comes to the Dino price, when we look at the chart, then we see that the token launched at just below $4, then it dumped like most forum tokens, but then it recovered and it kept recovering since. So this is looking very interesting. Of course, you have to keep a close eye on this, but when we look at the chart of Polycat Finance, we saw something similar happening. So I'm hoping that this farm will be able to stay alive for 1 or 2 months and will be giving me some good returns in the upcoming weeks. But yeah, we'll see. If the token value will go down, then of course I will start decreasing my risk and start taking out some of the tokens and maybe put them in another farm. So to sum it all up, I am still farming in the Qi Dao farm, but I'm going to keep a close eye on this one. I am going to reinvest in the Polycat farm. I am going to continue farming for at least a week in the Kunai, so the previous Dojo farm, and then I'll definitely be continuing to compound in the Dino farm. I don't know how long that one will last, but it's definitely looking good, and I think it's worth checking out for yourself. All right, that's it for this video. If you got any questions, do not hesitate to post a comment, and if you enjoyed the video, be sure to hit that like button and click the subscribe button, and I'll see you guys all in the next video. Bye.